Doug Hocking, the most interesting man in the BCFC, joins me now, the head coach of the Vancouver Island Raiders. And coach, I know I got you smiling off the hop, but that was a tough go on Saturday there. The Raiders don't lose at home like that too often, but the Sun certainly, in a lot of ways, had their way with you guys in that game, at least from where I was watching it. What's your takeaways, the breakdown on the loss to the Sun there at home?
Well, we sat back and we look at the film, Dom, and this is and I talked to the guys about it. We have to stop shooting ourselves in the foot. A muff punt led to 7 points. A snap over our punter's head into the end zone led to another 7 points, and then a block punt led to 7 points, and we lost by 16. So there's that's 21-point turnaround right there. And you can get deeper into it, and you can talk about, Eli Nelms Horton. Although he had 5 catches for over 100 yards and a touchdown, he could have had a career day if he just catches the ball, right? There was 2 or 3 drops he had there that would have been clear touchdowns. So we have to work on those things. We have to stress as a coaching staff that every night at practice, these are important. There are no small details. These are important things. You drop one in practice, you are practicing bad habits, and we have to get through that. And I know we're talking about Eli's a young guy, and Hill went into long snap because he's our number 2 long snapper. But there are no rookies anymore in this football team. We played enough games now that our guys should be stepping up, and we should be playing our best football of the year right now. And we didn't do that on Sunday. We made too many mistakes, and put our defense in bad positions, and. I thought all around, even towards the end of the game there, being down, we could still do some good things. And, Eli fought through battle, and we put him back in the game after pulling him, and he battled, made some catches, and got some confidence back. So, that's important to this football team, and we're going to have to, had a great night of practice last night, and, we want to get, we got to go into Langley with a very determined football team.
I look at the headlines, and I know you don't like the media too much for the most part, but I look at the headlines, Sun route Raiders, and I got a call from the mayor on a Monday. I was talking to him about some city business, and he said the same thing. What's going on? What happened in that game? I can't believe it. 9 turnovers and all this. Is there almost a point where you go back to your team and say, guys, it was 3 things. It was 3 mistakes. It wasn't the end of the world. It was a week 8 loss, not a round 1 playoff loss.
Right.
Where you sort of mitigate the
impact. Yeah, I can go. I definitely went back and told them. I told our leadership group last night in our meeting that it was 3 plays. All right, and I did tell the team, hey, 3 plays, but those 3 plays should not be happening this time of year. And those are things that we practice every day in practice. We shag punts every day in practice. Our returners are back there. We long snap every day in practice, right? And we're going through our protections, right? And Jake's going through his reads. So these things that are looking good in practice, they shouldn't be happening. They shouldn't be going in a negative manner. They shouldn't be a bad thing and turning out the way they do in a game. And so that's on myself. I'm going to take the blame for that. Maybe we're not prepared enough, and I'm stressing the point. That how important everything we do in practice is, but I'll be stressing it this week. My point will be taken this week when we go into practice, and it was last night. We were flying around. We had a great night, and I expect tonight to be the same, and the rest of the week.
When you look at the Langley Rams, they're a team that's rolling right now. They're coming off a win in a game they should have won. They beat the Broncos. And then you look back to the previous meeting in the season against them. I guess let's start there. That week 3 meeting, crazy comeback win for you guys. Is there any way that you can use anything from that game going into this weekend?
Well, we're going to watch that film and see what they did successfully. I mean, their defense had a pretty stout day up until the 4th quarter, right? So, so our offense needs to look at what we did successfully that day, and our defense. Needs to look at that film and see what their offense and some of the things that they did well. That's a good football team. Langley is you're right, Dom. Langley is a team that's rolling. They're playing with confidence right now. as far as we're concerned, we got to go in, we got to shut down the run, we got to put them behind the sticks a little bit, get them into second and long situations, and then our DBs need to come up and make some plays. We got to get some pressure on the quarterback. That's one thing that we don't do enough. We don't get enough pressure on the quarterback, and I demand it out of our defense. You know me, Dom. Hey, we got to get that guy patting the ball back there and not give him easy throws. And I think in situations where we have teams in second and long, sometimes it's a little too easy for that quarterback to complete a pass for a first down. So we got to make some adjustments there and either disguise some coverages or start bringing some pressure. But we'll figure out this week in film study and on the field.
Is Langley a different team with Howie Zarin as acting head coach as opposed to Matt Blocker?
Well, I don't know. Langley, watching the film, they still do the things that they did 4 weeks ago when Matt was the head coach. Has he not been the head coach long enough for Howie to go in? I don't think Howie's trying to change the culture of the team. I think a lot of those guys, the situation is that a lot of those guys are there, to play football and play for the coaches they have. And you give credit to that coaching staff. Those kids they're playing at a high level right now, and they're playing extremely well. So with that adversity of losing their head coach, so are they different? I don't think so. I think they're still just playing great football.
The conventional thinking says Max Joseph is a guy you have to focus on. You got to key on him. They're going to use him out of the backfield. They're going to use him in the receiving game. They're going to use him in the return game. And he's a guy who can put up 300-400 yards in a day, all purpose against you if you don't be careful.
Yep.
Is that the way you see it, or is there maybe a little more depth to that team that creates even more challenge?
Well, I think that quarterback, he throws a nice football when he's got open targets, and they got some sneaky little wide receivers there that can catch the ball and then get upfield real quick and get them some first downs. But obviously, you got to take care of Max Joseph. He's he's an outstanding talent in this league. You're right. He can put 300-400 yards up on you in a blink of an eye. At the end of the day, you'd be like, where did he get all those yards? So he's a great running back, and we're going to have our work cut out for us to stop the run. But that's something that I think we do well is we stop the run and we put teams into second and long. I think the difficulties we've had this year is second and 5 or longer. We need to start making plays on that situation. Obviously Max is being such a great football player, and he's gonna get his gains. He's gonna get his yards. He's a competitor. He's a good football player. But we need to limit those gains, and we need to rally and line up again. What we can't do is give up monster plays for touchdowns. We can't give up 30, 40-yard runs or long passes for touchdowns. We need to make teams drive the length of the field on us and get first downs, and hopefully that's along the way they make a mistake and we can take advantage of it.
I've been asking every head coach this question this week. We're coming into award season, all-star time and all that. The coach of the year in the BCFC, for me, it's a pretty easy choice, but I want to get the opinion from the inside. Who do you think, with all due respect to yourself, Doug, who do you think is the coach of the year in the BCFC this year?
I think Bob Reese is the coach of the year. I think he's done an outstanding job in Chilliwack. That's a young football team, and they've won some games, and they've won some games where people think that they shouldn't have won, and they went out and that team's played hard for them all year long. I'll give him a lot of credit. He's gotten the most out of it, and him and his coaching staff have done an outstanding job. So that's my pick right there.
Ben McCauley said an interesting point. He said, what about recognizing a coordinator? I don't know if it's a standalone award or a sub award or something, but there's some coordinators in this league doing great work too.
Yeah, I think there are. I think I don't know if you're going to recognize a coordinator or not. I'm gonna look at the head coach as far as coach of the year. If somebody wants to nominate a coordinator, I think I got my defense coordinator, Kareem Mayor's done an outstanding job this year, so that would be my pick there.
All right, Doug, thanks for this. Enjoy the trip, and we'll reconnect next week.
Thanks, brother. Anytime, Dom.